What it do, people? It's your boy Dre Day Everyday. Back with another video for you. And man, I was sitting up thinking about what kind of video I wanted to make next. And I had the idea of back in 2017 that it's the what makes it relevant is it kind of led me to where I am now. So I wrote a letter to my younger self to kind of address some things that are on my heart. I speak about my little brother that passed. That used to really, like, for a long time, that just kind of bothered me in a day-to-day sense. I go to sleep, have a dream about him, and wake up and just be distraught. And that kind of plagued me from the years 2001 all the way up to 2008. And I can say that I never really got over it. But when I wrote this letter to myself, it got me to a point of being able to talk about it better. But this letter, like I said, I wrote this in 2017. So I was 34, and I chose to write to the age of 16 because that's the age where you feel like you've grown and you know everything, and you could be further from the truth. But I'm going to go ahead and read this letter to you. Well, I'm going to read this letter to myself, and you're listening, and you be listening in. 6 pages. So, and also some people that have followed me on my social media on Facebook, they probably already heard this, but I'm putting it here so it's more accessible. And also, I haven't really read it since. So let's dive right into it. Okay, what's good, homie? This is the 34-year-old version of yourself writing to you. You were 16, so off top, yes, you live beyond the age 25 because I know this idea fucks with you in an indirect way because of one of your favorite rappers, Tupac Shakur. If you're 16, that means it's late 1998 or early 1999. Right now, you're about to enter your first relationship or already in it. So right off, no, you will not be with this woman forever. It's not your fault. It's not her fault. Let's just say that neither of you are ready. Y'all are fucking kids, no matter how grown you think you are. I ain't gonna talk to you like an old head because I know that you hate that shit with a passion. LMAO. Oh, wait. LMAO means laughing my ass off. You'll use this a lot in the social media era, which will start for you in February of 2010. That's way off, but let me put you on some game real quick because you're kind of lost in your life. More than you'd imagine. First, let's address the biggest struggle you have right now. That Bible that you force yourself to read every other day for understanding of it and the purpose of life altogether. I'm going to tell you straight up that your intuition is correct and it's a bunch of bullshit. Bullshit in the sense of it being literal. I still haven't met one person that can answer that question you asked when you read that first line, in the beginning God created heaven and earth. And you ask, wait, where did God come from? Nobody knows because it didn't happen. Here's the deal. This may tear you down, but you operate better when you know the truth. Trust me. Life has no set purpose. You literally have to give it one somehow. Here's the theory that makes the most sense to me at this age, and I know you understand too. Deep down inside, everyone gets to an age where they ask themselves, why am I here? What is my purpose? What happened is that some deceptive people had this idea to enslave the minds of people by attacking that vulnerability. Have this fake idea that there's an external deity who operates as a puppet master and make you do what you do, and that you have to serve him correctly or you will experience eternal suffering in hell. You used to have nightmares about this place when you were between the ages of 8 and 12, and you wake up with migraine headaches. Don't worry, those are already gone at the age you're at, and you haven't had one since. But yes, it's all fake. And on a bigger scale, it reinforces a few things like the law, economy, and capitalism, which are other forms of enslavement, but we'll deal with that at a later age. I'm about to tell you more things that you will not like, but you can't stop. So now that the Bible is out the way, let me tell you about your youngest brother, Donate. I really, really hate to tell you this, but he's going to die 1 week after you graduate high school. You got a good 3.5, 4 years that you can bond with him, and And I'd advise you to spend as much time with him as you can now, because he sees the sun rise and set in you. I know your situation. You have two older brothers that get on your fucking nerves at some point every single day. And your youngest older brother, you don't know very well because he's locked up. Danae gets on your nerves too based on how much he wants to come around. But let me explain what's going on here. For starters, you are an isolated person. There's nothing wrong with you. You just like to be alone because you don't think like the average people. They confuse the fuck out of you because they are backwards. Like, here's an example of how backwards they are. They have a saying that it's supposed to be a response to you wanting things your way that goes, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Bruh, you know what they're trying to say? They're trying to say you can't eat your cake and still have it. But an even better way of saying it is you can't have the cake and the ice cream too. You gotta pick one. But people are going to toss this phrase around pretty often, and you're going to think, why I can't eat a cake that's mine? Anyway, people are just backwards, or your understanding is backwards, whichever way you want to look at it. Another thing about you, you don't like clingy attachments. Right now, you think you do, but you will find out later in your later years that you don't. The main thing about you overall is that you have an abrasive thought process, and you aren't codependent. That's why you couldn't understand what peer pressure was in elementary school when they tried to teach you. You just don't go along with anything unless you really believe it deep down in you, or if it makes real sense to you. You're going to fight, debate, argue with almost every person you come in contact with. You don't lay down for anything ever under any circumstance. With all of this mentioned, just understand that you are one of the most secure self individuals that walks the planet. You are impervious to persuasion unless you are naturally already interested or in what's being presented. So now let's reel back. You like your alone time now, but your younger brother wants to come around every chance he gets. From his POV, you are his image of self-development. He views you in a way like you view your father. He wants to be just like you, even wants to be built like you. And I know you probably thinking, like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Man, I got chicken scratch. He said, I know you're like, how can all this be because you don't think you do anything special? Technically, you don't. You just have a natural charm to your personality. When you get older, you will realize it's based on the different and diverse walks of life you will attract and appeal to. But just spend more time with him because you will regret this to the point that you'll grow to be a 34-year-old man writing a letter to your younger self to try and get some closure and acceptance to the damages that has been done based on this. Next, I'm going to tell you about your grandmother. She means the absolute best for you, and trust me, it's a reason she doesn't like any of the people you think are your friends right now. When you were younger, there are a couple, well, chicken scratch. She means the absolute best for you, and trust me, it's a reason she doesn't like any of the people you think are your friends right now and when you were younger. There are a couple of things that she doesn't understand that are important to your personal development, but she is not intentionally harming you. She just views you as her child and wants to protect you from this dirty ass fucking world we live in. She will live a pretty long life and you'll be at peace with her passing when it happens. But the major thing I'm going to warn you about is the transition from high school to young adult. You're going to be a victim of circumstances from 2001 to March 2005. The struggle here is that you losing working years for staying at home and caring for an elder. Honestly, it's for the better. The way you write all of her checks and bills and transactions and will prepare you for money management and paying bills on time in a way that you would not have learned on your own. Your main concern is wondering if you're ever going to be shit in life. The answer is yes. As I'm writing this, I just left Coca-Cola and transitioned into an independent contractor for content writing. I'll let the details remain a surprise for you, but you're going to be straight. Now, lastly, I'm going to tell you about this woman that you're going to meet who's really going to grow you up as a man and mold your expectations of a woman. I can't tell you her name because you're going to know who she is the moment you meet her. Now, in this phase of your life, you're going to find out that you aren't capable or experienced enough in serious relationships to execute correctly. But this is possibly the most impactful experience in your life because you will understand your strengths and weaknesses as a man, and you will also understand what responsibilities you take on when you engage in a serious relationship. You and her may not make it romantically, but y'all will remain close friends and supportive of one another because of the bond that you two establish. I've went over a good amount of things, so I'm about to wrap this up. I got albums to listen to, some interviews to watch, and I'm still hooked on this game, Horizon Zero Dawn for PlayStation 4. Yeah, nigga, PlayStation 4. That PlayStation 1 you got is alright, but when PlayStation 2 comes out, you're going to become a serious gamer. Other things that'll trip you out about yourself is that you're going to be bald at 22. You're going to get your first tattoo at 31. And I know this trips you out, but it's all going to happen. It's all going to be your decision. Anyway, I hope this helps. And you can't tell anyone about this letter because people would think you crazy. Peace. But yeah, man, wrote that to myself. That really did. As funny as it may sound, I really feel like it made a significant change in my life. Um, I can talk about that situation about my little brother passing a little bit better, and I don't. And it just it's power in writing, just getting it off my chest, you know. So whenever something's really getting to me, I pull out pen and paper. I'm old fashioned. Some, for you it might be typing, but yeah, me putting the pen to some paper in a quiet room, man, got a lot of this. I would say that this, when I look back on my life, this letter to my younger self will probably be the single most important or influential thing or important decision I made on this journey to being happy. But I ain't gonna hold you too much longer, man. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope that maybe that can inspire something in you to help you grow through something that may be tough. Maybe you could write a letter to your younger self, or maybe you could write a letter directly to somebody. But that's all I got. Peace.